You know how you can feel it when somebody's staring at you, when they're looking at you real strongly. Even if they're behind you, you can feel when somebody's eyes are on you, right? And I do get stared at a lot. And I've got several reasons for that, I know. But one of the reasons that people stare at me is because I'm a foreigner. I'm an American living in Guatemala, and it's kind of hard to hide. It's just, I can't tell you how often people come up to me, perfect strangers, and they ask me where I'm from. ¿De dónde es usted? They say in Spanish. I answer them, depends. Sometimes I'll just say that I was born in California, even though it's been a real long time since I've lived there. I've lived in so many places that I'm not really sure where I'm from. But if it looks like they might be under 30 years old, then I'll just tell them, well, I think I've probably been here in Guatemala longer than you have. And they just look at me. But it's true. And another reason that people stare at me here in Guatemala is because I am tall. And most people here aren't quite that tall. Some of the guys around here are as tall as I am, but most of the women tend to be a lot shorter. And especially the women that I tend to spend time with. If I'm with a group of women, then most of them come about up to my shoulder. And sometimes, even though it doesn't bother me to be tall, but sometimes when I'm in a group picture, I might just kind of scrunch down a little bit, just so it's not quite so obvious. And another thing is that they stare at me because I'm older and I'm white-haired. I have my natural gray color in my hair, which is something you don't see a whole lot, especially in women here. They tend to color their hair, even if they're 80 years old, they'll have this black hair. It's just a cultural thing here that the families tend to encourage their older women to color their hair. Now, I don't know if that's just because they don't want them to look quite so old, but for whatever reason, most of them do that. Now, there are a few brave women that I see that let their hair grow out the natural color. And when it starts to grow with those gray strands or white strands with the black, the contrast, it's just beautiful. And another reason that I really do get kind of looked at when I'm walking down the street is because I do stand up tall when I'm walking and stand up straight and walk with a long stride. I walk confidently. I don't just hunch down and shuffle my feet, and I'm not usually a slow walker. And that is kind of unusual, I guess, and especially for my age. And part of the reason for that would be that I want to keep a habit of good posture, because I know that at my age, if I don't keep good habits, it's a lot harder later on to get those habits back. So yeah, I walk tall and confident because that's just how I feel about myself. And another reason that I do get stared at, just like right now, is because I like to film myself in public. And I do make some of my videos at home, but I do like to get out and get away from home and show my surroundings because they're so beautiful. But when I'm filming myself outside, then of course people are staring at me when you're sitting somewhere talking to a camera. But I really started thinking about it. And most of the people that would be watching me, they have smartphones and they look at Facebook and Reels and YouTube videos and all of that. So they're quite aware of what I'm doing. That's how these videos are made. So I've learned not to let it bother me too much, because I don't assume that when they're staring at me that it's something negative, because after all, when somebody's really interested in something, they're going to watch. And if somebody's interested in what I'm doing, that can be a very positive thing. In fact, it might even be an opening for me to start a conversation with somebody, even though I'm kind of an introvert. If I can talk to somebody, maybe encourage them in some way, even make a new friend. That has happened. But speaking of making new friends, if you are watching this channel and you're new to the channel, then why don't you go ahead and subscribe to the channel? Make a new friend. Because I got a lot of good stuff that's going to be coming out. And if you do, go ahead and leave comments. That's the fun part of YouTube these days, is getting involved with the comments and with other people. And if you stayed this far with me in this video, I think you really like the next one that's coming up. You can take a look at it here. And so if you do, I will see you in the next video. And thanks for watching.